welcome to another episode of the Mama Memoirs podcast. I'm your host Becks.
And I'm your host Kat. So today we're going to do birth stories.
We are. Yes, ding yours first.
So we're going to start with mine, and then we've decided we're going to do two separate episodes on birth stories just to give them all of the credit that they deserve.
Yes, there's a lot to cover, so it's best to separate them out.
Yeah. So
tell us all about yours. What happened? Take us right back to the start. Yeah.
So I'm going to start with the pre-birth.
Run up to it.
So I was adamant that he was going to arrive at 36 weeks.
Nice. Did you just have the feeling?
I had the feeling I think it was more because the midwife from 36 weeks, and even before, she said he's fully engaged. So I'm thinking,
okay,
he's ready to come. Okay.
Yeah. He's at the door.
Yeah, basically was at the door.
Yeah.
And was at the door until 42 plus 1 days. So we were doing absolutely everything. The warm but not hot baths. The clary sage, the raspberry leaf teas, the dates.
Yeah.
I walked absolutely miles.
Did you do the curb walking thing as well?
Did the curb walking, did the yoga, did the birthing ball, bouncing on the birthing ball.
Yeah.
I actually got to the point when I was overdue of doing labour-inducing workouts.
Okay, nice.
Which clearly didn't work.
Yep. He was not going to be induced by your efforts at all.
I really, really didn't want to be induced in hospital.
No.
I just really didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
And I think in a way I maybe stressed myself out trying to do too much.
Yeah. Because then you are sitting there thinking, not here yet.
Is it coming?
Not here yet.
Yeah, a day closer. So I think I almost stressed myself out because I really, really didn't want to be induced.
Yeah.
But so we were doing all the walking. It was lovely actually, because we spent a lot of time just trying to be really chilled.
Yeah, get outside.
We bought loads of candles, so in the evening, if it was ever going to happen, we put the candles on, and it was just very nice. We listened to the birthing playlist every night.
Lovely.
So from probably, I don't know, maybe 38, 39, before, like that sort of window, we were listening to the birthing playlist every night. And every night I thought he was going to come. I could feel stuff going on.
Yeah, you can feel the movements, can't you? And you think, twinge.
Yeah, twinge. Every night a twinge, and we go to bed, and I'd think, I'll get some sleep in before he comes, if he's coming. And then I'd wake up the next morning and be like,
no baby.
No baby. He's still here.
There,
so it was quite stop-start. So every night I thought it was coming, and then it wasn't. And so, we got to the point where it was the day that I was due to be induced. Okay. And I just really didn't want to be induced. We'd obviously gone through all the different types of induction, and at this point I'd had 3 stretch and sweeps. Oh my god.
It terrified me. The idea of having those terrified me. Once you're in it.
I mean, and also once you have like 4 or 5, you're kind of like, fine.
Get in there, do
your thing. And I think we said this before, what made it not super nice, but what made it more enjoyable, as if a sweep could be enjoyable, is that I got a foot rub or reflexology.
So jealous of that.
It was foot rub.
So nice.
It was really nice.
So nice. Yeah, I'll just have another stretch and sweep, please. You had one earlier. Yeah, I know, but
don't worry. Don't worry about it.
Just want to really make sure.
Yeah, really make sure that he's on his way.
Feet, please.
Yes.
That's so nice.
So that was nice.
Yeah.
But every time they do the sweep, they sort of say, "Oh, you're a little bit further along," so they tell you how effaced you are. And the first one he was not. Then he was a bit more. Then he was a bit more, and then the midwife was saying, I can feel his head. He's ready to come. Yay. So on the Saturday that we were booked in to be induced, I still was on the I don't want to be induced page. So I called them and organised to have another stretch and sweep, and just to be monitored. So we went in, had the stretch and sweep.
Yeah.
Again, she was like, he's ready to come.
Come
I can
on
feel
then.
his head.
Yay!
I was like,
can he come now, please?
It's actually so exciting
Yeah,
when you think
yeah.
about it. Like, they can feel him in there.
I can feel the head. That just baffles me. It's
I
weird.
can
You
feel
almost
the
think of it
hair.
as, I don't know, obviously you know there's a baby in there, but then when you start to hear about the head is moving down and all that
You're
stuff.
like, oh my gosh, it's
oh,
actually
there's an
real.
actual baby coming through my vagina. It's
I
insane.
know, it's absolutely insane. And yet, even now, I just look back and I think, oh my goodness, you just can't, like that moment when they're like, oh, I can feel his head.
Yeah, yeah.
You're like, oh my god, it's got a head!
It's got a head.
Yay!
Did you ever have a feel?
No, I didn't. I
Okay.
was like, oh, I couldn't. Yeah, I thought it would be too weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I can feel the head. And so Saturday, we'd gone in for a quick stretch and sweep.
Yeah, quick stretch and sweep, nice.
And we actually had an engagement party on the Saturday night,
Brilliant.
which we were hoping to go to.
So you went in for your stretch and sweep and then went to an engagement party?
That was the plan. And in the end, because he was jumping around, she just wanted to monitor. She was like, I'll just put the monitor on for, I don't know, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And we'll just see what's going on. It's like a standard thing because I was overdue.
Yeah.
And he just kept jumping around. And so we were in there for 3 hours while she monitored it. And she was
and
like,
it's monitoring heart rate, is that right?
Yeah, so they monitor the heart rate, the movement, and I had to click every time you move. I was just like, ding, 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 ding.
Constant, yeah.
Because you're constantly moving.
Shifting around and having a lovely little party.
Yeah, the biggest party he's ever had.
It was exciting to get out, getting ready.
So we didn't make the engagement party, sadly.
Okay.
Because she was just monitoring him and wanted it to go back down. In the end, she gave me a drip to calm him down because if you're a bit dehydrated, sometimes it can make their heart rate elevated.
Okay. So just just to rehydrate you in the hope that once you're rehydrated, his heart rate will normalise and it'll be all fine. Okay.
And it did. Okay. So we then were able to go home.
Nice.
The doctor wanted us to stay in overnight, but we compromised. I didn't really want to stay in there. I just wanted to come home. I was feeling like, oh, maybe it will happen naturally, and it's definitely not going to happen naturally if I'm in a sort of stressful environment.
You need your home, and if you've gone to the effort of having all your candles,
I was so like, I need this water birth. Which at that point it was never going to happen because they don't let you.
They don't let you if you're
have
overdue.
your baby in the birth centre if you're overdue.
No.
Despite me asking it every single time I went in, I was like, "Is the birth centre open today?" And they're like, "No,
no,
it is not.
No, not for you.
Not for you.
Not for you. Not allowed."
So we then went home and we agreed to come in, and she would monitor me the next day. So we went in the next day, and again his heart rate was going up and down. Well, more just going up. He was just jumping around again.
So he was just excited. The thing ready to come out, bless him.
Yeah. So, he does this scratchy thing. Can we turn you off?
Better.
He was, just jumping around. Yeah. So she monitored us again. A different doctor came in. Okay. And this was quite stressful for us. She came in, had obviously seen the notes that his heart rate was high, but hadn't come in to sort of assess. Like when you could see my stomach, you could tell that he was absolutely jumping around. Which would obviously elevate his heart rate. But she had just seen the notes which said high heart rate. Okay. So she'd come in, had said your baby's tachycardic or your baby's heart rate is tachycardic.
Helpful. What does that mean?
And we were like, oh, what does that mean?
Yeah.
So your baby's stressed, is trying to get out. Your body is trying to get your baby out because you're overdue. And so, we need to induce you. And so we were like,
that's a lot of information and that's really scary. Yeah.
Yeah, really scary. And just like quite a lot to take in. Yeah. So we were just like, oh, what do we do? And so Ross had started asking her some questions. Yeah. For example, what is tachycardia?
Yeah, exactly.
What does that mean?
Completely fair enough, understandable questions.
Yeah. And also, where is our baby's heart rate in the scale of this tachydicness?
Yes. Is it super tachycardic or little
bit? Little baby bit
a little bit tachycardic. And what does that mean?
Yeah. What on earth does this mean?
Yeah.
And she basically didn't know. And so Ross kept asking her questions, which she didn't know because she,
She hadn't looked. I guess she just looked at your notes and just saw high heart rate. That's it. And
and I think she wasn't prepared for us to ask questions.
Yeah.
She very much, thought that, and maybe most people do. I think a lot of people don't feel like they have a say in whether they're induced or not. So I think she expected me to say, okay, I'll be induced and I'll plan it in.
Yeah.
Whereas, and in the end we did, but we wanted to understand.
We wanted to be informed.
Why? What does this mean? Is he in danger? Is anything going to happen? Because at this point, we obviously spoke about the fact that we both had miscarriages. So at this point, when someone is telling you, your baby's in distress and he needs to come out, you're immediately thinking, oh my goodness, okay, is everything okay?
What do I need to do? What are the how bad is this?
Yeah.
And your brain goes to the worst case scenario, but you need somebody there to have a good bedside manner and to explain to you, if you do this, this will happen. If you do this, this will happen.
Yeah.
It's highly likely to be X, but we want to take precautions just
all of the information.
Exactly.
So that you, they can give their advice and you can make a decision.
Yeah, and you know that the doctor knows best and they know a lot of information, but just share that with you so that you can make an informed
terms.
Exactly. Tachycardic.
And especially when you're overdue. In my position, I'm overdue. I'm now being told my baby's in distress.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I want to know what I need to do to make this okay.
Yeah.
And so she said she would go away, go and get the information and come back.
Yeah.
But she actually never did.
She just left.
She just left. Ross had asked her some questions and she had essentially said, I'm talking to your partner and not to you.
That's so
and
rude.
Obviously, Ross was not best pleased with that answer.
No.
It's just not. It's not an acceptable way to speak to someone's partner when they're A, overdue, and B, you've just told them something quite distressing.
And I don't know if you had this in your birth plan, but I certainly had it in mine where I put Giles down as my spokesperson.
Yeah.
I said I don't really like talking when I'm stressed.
Yeah.
So if you can just address everything to Giles.
I find it really hard to process information.
Yeah, exactly.
I had exactly the same, and that is exactly what Ross was doing. He was being my spokesperson, asking the questions that
he knew you would have wanted to know.
Yeah.
And he wanted to know as the father. Let's not forget I think quite often you can forget, or it seems as though maybe some medical staff forget the father's importance in all this.
Yeah, he's 50% of that baby.
Exactly. They have a right to know what's going on as much as the woman. And yes, it's your body. And some might say that you have the ultimate decision because it's your body that potentially could have been induced or whatever. But they have a
say.
A right and a say.
Yeah. So she actually said she would go out and find the information and come back in 10 minutes to let us discuss.
Yeah.
And she never did.
Gee, that's so bad.
We spoke to the midwife and obviously explained the situation. Said, this is what's happened.
Yeah.
Given all the information, we would not forgive ourselves if anything happened and we didn't come in to be induced. So that's what we're going to do.
Yeah. Fine.
And she said, that's fine. I totally understand it. It's your decision. Having monitored you today and monitored you yesterday, we don't see anything that you need to be worried about.
Okay,
so she was really reassuring. She was, I can see that he is very active.
Okay.
And if you're active, your heart rate goes up.
Yeah. Exercising,
and it is coming back down. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
So we're not worried. I think she maybe had just quickly looked at the notes and hadn't properly read through the background maybe. But I really don't think you need to be worried. If we were worried, we would get you in for a cesarean right now.
Yeah, exactly. That's true, actually. Yeah, if they were really worried, if they really thought there's something wrong, they would have.
Yeah, they wouldn't let you go home and then come back later.
No, exactly. They would deal with it. there.
Yeah.
And there. Yeah.
So that was quite reassuring.
Yeah.
So yeah, we went home, had a nice dinner, watched the rest. I think I was watching Love Actually.
Oh, that's a nice film to watch.
It was, yeah.
Oh yeah, because
it was around Christmas,
yeah.
I was like, I really want to watch a Christmas film. And
Love Actually is the perfect Christmas film.
I feel like I did all my Christmasness from basically October to November.
Yeah.
I didn't really do that much Christmassy stuff afterwards, but so yeah, I was watching Christmas films.
Amazing. Yeah,
So
that's nice and relaxing. That's a good film to watch. It's light-hearted. It's quite funny. Yeah, nice.
Yeah. We went home, finished the.
It's good for Ross to have said to you, no, let's go home. Let's have our dinner.
Yeah.
Let's actually spend some time together and just
breathe.
Relax again. Breathe. We know what we've got to do. We're going to go back this evening, but we've just got that time now. That's really it's a good idea.
Because I think if it was just me, I would have been thinking I need to go home, get myself and come straight back.
Rush. Yeah.
But actually, I mean, once I got there, like I didn't.
Yeah.
I don't think they monitored me straight away. I can't remember.
Okay.
I think because they have all the rounds, so they've got their rota and they just monitor you whenever you fit into their slot.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
So it really makes no difference when you go in.
Yeah.
I was really glad that we went home and had a nice evening.
Yeah, nice.
Because little did I know that was my last evening before he arrived.
Yeah. That's your last chance watching a movie all the way through.
Yeah, I know.
Did enjoy it.
I really did. So we went in and we actually bumped into Phoenix and Michael, who were on our hypnobirthing course, which was really nice. And I immediately felt reassured just by having a familiar face.
Yeah. Were they mid giving birth? What were they?
So we actually bumped into them in the car park.
Oh no.
So I was thinking, I really recognise that person.
Yeah.
And then we wind down the window, like, Phoenix, Michael, wow, what are you doing here?
Hello.
Yeah,
we're baby at the same time.
Like, oh snap.
Yeah.
So yeah, she was already in the is it antenatal wherever it is.
Yeah, wherever it is. Yeah, for monitoring, prenatal, I guess.
Yeah, it must be.
Yeah.
She was already in there because she was waiting to be induced.
Right.
And we were on the same ward.
Yeah.
So that's quite nice.
Yeah. So solidarity.
Yeah.
Like that.
So that was Sunday night. So I'm now full term plus 2 weeks. So I'm 42 weeks.
Yikes.
On Sunday. Oh no, 42 weeks on the Monday. This is the Sunday.
Okay.
So we got to the ward. I really wasn't very happy about staying on there at all.
No.
For some reason, because the labour ward was you get your own room, I assume that you get your own room in the prenatal ward. Well, you don't get the tour of that bit.
No, you
so
don't.
I didn't know what it was going to be like, but I assumed that I would maybe get my own room.
Yeah. No.
Silly me.
Is it the curtain setup?
It's the curtain setup. You're with. To be fair, the bays are like 6 women, so it's not.
Okay. It's not
the biggest. Yeah. But you're obviously with women that you don't know why they're in there, you hear lots of random conversations going on and it's quite disconcerting.
Yeah, I bet it is.
And you can obviously hear all these babies' heartbeats being monitored in the background, which is really odd, and I don't think anything can prepare you for that. That is just really
loud
strange.
machines going
yeah.
And really fast as well.
Yeah. And they all move at different speeds. You don't know what's right and what's well, not what's right and what's wrong. But every baby's different.
You'd be doing the comparison, wouldn't you?
Yeah, like listening to it.
Their baby's slower than my baby. Why? What's wrong?
Is he okay? Do I need to call for help?
Yeah.
So it's just very. I guess it's a new environment. It's not particularly relaxing. It's not your home environment, and you've got a bag with all your stuff in, so you haven't got all your home comforts either.
No. And did Ross get to stay with you?
So the guys can't stay. The visiting hours finish at 9, which I just don't get. I mean, he would have happily sat there had a blanket and a pillow and probably slept.
Yeah.
I was having a bit of a meltdown about it. I was just thinking, how can I stay here? I feel so uncomfortable. Yeah. Not physically uncomfortable, I just felt
mentally,
really...
you want support from your partner,
Yeah. But luckily one of the midwives came round and she had said to us, look, don't make a song and dance about it, but if it would make you happier and more comfortable, your partner can stay.
Oh, that's good. That's
which
really
was
nice.
really, really nice.
Yeah,
and
really
actually,
nice.
as it happened, by the time it got to about 10:30, I said to Ross that you're not going to get enough sleep here, and I need you to be rested.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
because I'm going to be. I mean, who knows what state I'm going to be in.
Yeah. So you need at least one of you to be on it and to be and for his mental health as well. For him to have a good night's sleep will make him able to support you better.
And in reality, I was thinking, all I'm going to do is go to sleep. I'll wake up maybe at 7 or 8.
Yeah.
Have a shower, and then it's 9 o'clock, and you'll be here again.
Okay. Yeah.
So all I'm going to do is sleep, and I'd rather you have a good night's sleep.
That makes sense.
And so that was Sunday night. Monday, I bumped into Phoenix, and she had I think the balloon catheter.
Oh gosh.
So they put it in, and I thought she was going into labour. I was thinking, oh my goodness, because she could hardly stand. She's, I'm going to have to sit, I'm going to have to go back to my bed. And we're like, yeah, you do you.
Go now, so help her.
So she was having contractions and things, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's getting really real. Oh my god.
I don't know whether that would have helped me seeing other people about to go or hinder me.
In the moment, I was thinking, oh well, I'm not feeling like that.
Yeah.
What? I just didn't really know what was going to happen, and I was thinking, I'm not feeling like that. But anyway, so we went out, and we went to this really lovely garden centre.
Oh, nice.
And I was just wandering around, looking at all the Christmas decorations, and I said to Ross, I was like, I think something's happening.
It's happening. Did you just feel the sudden contraction feeling, or any water? Or?
I just kept having to stand and hold something.
Okay.
And I was like, one of those. But not. It wasn't regular at all. But it was definitely. Well, I definitely thought, something's happening.
Yeah. Grabby.
Ross's sister actually lives in between the hospital and where we were.
Oh, nice.
So we went over there.
Yeah.
And I had a nice bath.
Lovely. Yeah.
Just sort of chilled out a little bit, because I was again thinking, right, this might be it.
Yeah.
So let's have a little bit of a relax.
Yeah.
And they just had their bathroom done, so it felt like I was in a hotel. It was amazing.
Zen.
Yeah, it was so nice.
If I could just have my baby here, that'd be great.
I know, that's what I thought. I was like, if I could just have it here, that'd be wonderful.
Yeah. With all of the medical professionals around, just to be clear.
And someone tidying up their bathroom. I don't think they'd be too happy. Sorry.
Nice.
So we went there for bath, then come back to, I think we came back home, had some dinner again, and then went back to the hospital. Yeah. Be monitored, because in between, so you're monitored every 6 to 8 hours.
Okay.
So as long as you're back to be monitored,
then
you can kind of do what you like.
Yeah, because it's not prison, is it? They can't keep you there.
No, and I thought, I can't sit in here all day. No. Most of the ladies were just sitting in there all day, and maybe they had already been juiced, so they had, I don't know, but...
That would drive me mad, I think, just sitting there staring at a wall, or staring at my phone for 8 hours.
Oh, I couldn't. Hated it.
No.
So we didn't do that. And Monday night we came back, and the lady on the reception said, well, we think we might have a bed for you in the labour ward. Okay. It sort of dawned on me that you don't get a say in what time you have your baby. Oh. You're a bit tired.
Oh dear. Maybe.
So it sort of dawned on me then that you don't really get a say in when you have your baby.
In terms of them just sort of scheduling into a slot.
Yeah, there's a room for you, so you have to go. Yeah. And I mean, as it turned out, the room wasn't available till the next morning, so I got a good night's sleep. Nice, yeah. But I was thinking about all the women that have to have their baby in the evening when you've had a whole day and you're exhausted. Yeah. It just, I don't know, it just must be really difficult. Yeah. But luckily I was able to have well, I say a good night's sleep, asleep before I went in the morning.
Nice.
And so I felt a bit more rested, which was nice.
Yeah.
So the morning went into the labour ward. The lady on reception was really sweet. She's like, I've given you room 10 because it's a little bit warmer.
Oh, lovely.
Like,
thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much,
I was
Cozy.
so nervous and I didn't know what to do, and it was changeover time. So the ladies that dropped me in the room then left, and then it was probably about 40 minutes before the next midwives arrived or clocked in. Okay. So I was just sort of sat in this room thinking, what do I do? So I started. Do I just like?
Do I just sit here? What do I do? Well, I know when something.
So I was just sort of lying on the bed, and then I thought, I'll get the music out.
Yeah.
I'll get the speaker out, put some music on, listen to the hypnobirthing affirmations and meditation stuff. Yeah. Ross arrived, which was great, and then the new midwives took over. One of them was called Wendy, which is my mum's name.
Reassuring.
Which was really nice.
Yeah.
And then the other lady was really funny because she just was basically bantering Ross the whole time.
Was she?
From 7 a.m. when she took over to 5 p.m. when they left us. She was just non-stop bantering Ross. It was so funny.
Give me a nice hard time, but it probably relaxes the atmosphere a little bit. So,
she was great. I felt instantly relaxed. So the two ladies came in. One, should we go with an I can't remember. So she was bantering Ross all day. Nice. I think he quite enjoyed it.
Yeah, it probably did. Yeah, it probably lightens his mood a little bit, makes him feel a bit more relaxed.
It made me feel much more relaxed. Yeah. To the point that I actually spontaneously went into labour. So I think they'd come in at 7 and like 8 o'clock I started having some contractions, and because I'd moved on to the labour ward and they were giving me some drips. Okay. Because they thought maybe his heart rate was high because he had a little bit of an infection or something. Okay. So they gave me in total 4 drips, and over the process of those drips I got more and more into labour. Yeah. So like
it's happening.
Yeah, and because they had me hooked up to the monitor ECG, I could see when the contractions were happening, cool. And they were getting stronger and stronger. I mean, time just sort of goes, doesn't it? Yeah. So it all started at 8, and then at 1 o'clock we then were having the conversation about cesarean. Okay.
Because it just wasn't progressing?
Yeah, so the doctor came in at the start and to assess me, and he was like, you're about 2 centimetres. I was like, okay, fine. Okay. Yeah. I was yesterday, so fine. Yeah. He'd then come back in, reassessed me, and said, you're still only 2 centimetres, and that was after, what was that, 8 till, must have been 12:30, something like that. Okay, yeah. It's quite a long time. Yeah. And he was sort of saying, you're going to be another 12 to 24 hours. Yikes. Yeah, so I was thinking, okay. And so I'm trying to think which way it happened, but I was literally on all fours, like doing the breathing and all that jazz, yeah. And the midwife was doing it in my ear, which was so helpful. Oh yeah. It must have looked really odd.
Deep breathing next to you to get you into the rhythm.
Literally, holding my head and holding my hand and breathing in my ear.
Brilliant.
And I was like, don't go! Please stay! That was super helpful. The doctor came in and was basically saying, you're only 2 centimetres. I was still on the drip, so I hadn't had any gas and air, anything. I was just on the drips because they thought either he or I had an infection. So I'd finished them all. Right. By that point, I was sort of like, okay, full-blown labour, on all fours, doing my breathing. Yeah, stuff's happening. Yeah. And then there was sort of conversations going on behind me, and they were basically having the conversation about whether we do it naturally or whether I needed a cesarean. Yeah. So the midwives, bless them, they were saying, if you want to do it naturally, we've got your back. We don't have any concerns at this stage. Yeah. It's all kind of looking fine. It's just a bit grey because it keeps going up and coming down. But they were like, if you want to do it naturally, we will fight your corner, which is amazing.
Yeah, definitely.
And the doctors on the other hand, so we're having the midwives like, if you want to do it naturally, like, you go girl.
Yeah.
And then the doctor's coming in like, no, we really think you need a cesarean.
It's always such a contrast between them, isn't it? Yeah.
And
I'm inclined to lean more with the midwife, just because they see the full range of every single birth, from the natural to the, the doctors only get involved, tend to, with the more serious stuff.
Yeah. But again, then it means you're thinking, well, is this more serious because the doctors keep coming in? But yeah, so we had this discussion. The doctors came in, then went out. Midwives explained, their sort of vibe, which was, if you want natural, great. If you want cesarean, great. It's totally your choice. But if you're doing it naturally, you're looking at 24 hours at least. And yes, so it's not.
That's a lot.
And the other thing was that his heart rate just kept going up.
Okay.
And so we'd had the conversation, if there's any grey area, I'm not precious.
No.
I'm really not precious about how he was born.
No.
I'm not one of those people that thinks, cesarean is not real birth.
It's ridiculous. You are giving birth, whether it's cesarean, whether it's vaginal, you have given birth.
At that point, I was just thinking, if there is any grey area and I'm like, no, I want natural, and something happens, I'll just never forgive myself. And so in the end, Ross was like, what do you think? And I was like, look, I don't care. Just the safest option, and at that point, it was cesarean. So then you go through the whole prep for cesarean, which is just like, it's just so overwhelming when you're in full-blown labour.
Yeah.
You have all these people.
All the people surrounding you.
5 people come in. The doctors all come in. Then 5 separate people come in to tell you all the different risks and whatever about the procedure that you're going to go and have.
Yeah.
You might have a hysterectomy. You might have this. You might have that. They might have to whisk you away.
God.
If something happens to the baby, this is what's going to happen. I mean, I couldn't tell you what they said.
No, you're just hearing blurred.
I just remember hearing all this information and just in my head thinking, I don't have an option. Well, I suppose I did, but in my head I thought, well, if there's any grey,
with his heart rate going up, heart rate going up, 24 hours, you just think that's got to be the right decision.
Yeah. So you've just got all these people talking at you.
Yeah.
I'm there just like, okay. And then you've got to sign something to say that you understood it.
Yikes.
I mean, no idea.
Yeah. No
idea.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, just do your thing.
Yeah.
And Ross is in the corner having a bit of a meltdown.
I bet he was.
So I'm just there, just taking it all in and thinking in my head, I don't have an option. This is what I've got to do. And this is the safest option. People have cesareans all the time. In fact, people choose to have cesareans.
Exactly.
It is a standard procedure.
Yep.
Happens every day. Like this, all these thoughts going through my head. Ross is in the corner having an absolute meltdown. Like, my girlfriend is just about to be cut open. What's going to happen to the baby? What do I do? Do I stay here? Do I go with them? What happens if they're separated?
Yeah.
So he made a very, very excellent suggestion. He said, babe, do you think you want your mum here? And I'm like, oh yeah,
brilliant. Bring her.
Ross wanted my mum there, but actually it was an absolutely amazing
He was
idea.
panicking, going, I need some moral support. Let's get Kat's mum here.
Yeah, but I mean, I was not in the headspace to even have that thought, but it was made such a massive difference. So he called my mum happened to be flying back into Heathrow.
Amazing.
And he caught her before she boarded the flight.
Oh, so good.
I think he must have caught her about 1:30 when I was getting ready to go into theatre.
Yeah.
What's wrong? You tired? So he managed to call her back, I think it must have been 1:30 before we went into theatre. And then managed to call her again before she boarded the flight.
So good.
To let her know.
Timing was precise.
Yeah, I think her flight took off at 2:15.
Yeah.
He was born at 2:06.
Wow.
So Ross had called her in the theatre.
In that tiny window.
Yeah,
it's so good.
To say, we're all okay. Yeah. Baby's fine. He didn't actually tell her what we'd had.
Oh, right.
So everyone, all her work colleagues on the plane were asking, what have you had? What have you had? Yeah. I don't know. But it's
baby.
Okay.
I have a grandchild. Yeah.
Whoop. So, he managed to call her. But, so that was kind of the aftermath. But the actual caesarean, for anyone that's listening that's had a caesarean, it is just the most meticulously planned procedure, obviously, but I've never had any hospital treatment or surgery or anything. Yeah. So this was
orchestrated performance, isn't it?
It was absolutely incredible. Yeah. So you got one person coordinating it, and then you've got from memory about 6 or 7 other people in the room. So this lady coordinating it was sort of shouting out, so-and-so, have you got this? And they'd shout back, check, next one, check, next one, check. And then she's like, right, we're all ready to go.
It's like a flight taking off or something. And
it's just
army precision. It amazing.
It was amazing. At that point, they're saying to me, I've had the anaesthetic. Yeah. Can you lift your legs? So I'm just like, and we're just like, it's not moving. Like, okay, it's working. They've done the anaesthetic and moved me onto the bed. Yeah. And one of the things they do say is that it can make you shake. Okay. Because it's your body reacting to quite a high level of drugs. Yeah. And especially when you have an unplanned one. Yeah. If you're having a planned one, they tell you not to eat, not to drink for a number of hours before.
They different prep.
They don't know what you've had before. Yeah. So they just give you the maximum of everything, which can make your body react and shake. Okay. So I'm there on the operating theatre table, absolutely shake. Like Ross thought I was going to fall off of the bed because I was shaking so much.
Convulsing off.
Yeah. And I was trying to hold my hands to like stop, and they were just like this.
Oh no.
It was just absolutely insane. Yeah. And there was a period where, so they bring the screen up, the sheet. Yeah. And there's a period where they're kind of getting everything ready and they're not actually doing anything, but because I'd never had a cesarean before, I don't know what to expect. Know what they're doing, thinking, are they doing something and I can't feel it? Yeah. Or are they just not doing anything? And I knew that cesareans were quite quick. Yeah. Ooh, there's no baby crying, what's wrong? Yeah. They haven't started yet. So I'm like, okay, fine.
Okay. Just wait.
And then they do start, and the lady writes the time that the knife cuts open your skin on the board. Yeah. And from knife to skin, it's like 5 minutes. I think it was 14:01 knife to skin, and 14:06 he was born.
That's amazing. So incredible.
And it is like a washing machine, and you're telling me when they're like moving everything
churning,
around.
Does it?
Yeah. It's really, really odd, but it's not painful. Yeah. It's just like you feel like your body's being moved around.
It's very strange, isn't it?
It's the weirdest feeling. So 14:06, he was born with a bang, came out, you hear him crying, both Ross and I absolutely wept.
Oh, that's so magical. I love it.
Yeah, it really. And everyone says, cesareans aren't as magical because they're in a surgical environment, which that is true.
Of course, but it's still your baby.
It's still magical, and when you hear that cry, there's just nothing else like it. He came out and they were like, do you want to see your baby? Yes. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. So they like lifted him up. He's still attached to me at this point. Yeah. And just this really grumpy face, like over the screen. Like, what have they done to me?
I wanted to get out ages ago.
Covered in poo.
Oh, was he?
So he was stressed. Okay. So in the end, when we were chatting about it, cesarean was definitely the right option.
So you absolutely made the right decision. You did the right things at the right times. Yeah.
And he came out with what's the word? Ridges on his head where he'd been stuck in my pelvis. Yeah. So he was trying to come out, like they were saying, he's ready to come. Yeah. But his head was obviously just too big for me. Yeah. So he came out with little ridges on his head. Poor thing. And lots of poo everywhere.
Yeah. and then tidy up, clearing up.
Tidy up. And this is something I only remembered recently, is that he was crying.
Yeah.
Came out, could hear him crying. And then they were like, do you want to do skin to skin? I'm like, yes, absolutely. So they bring him round, put him on my chest, and he stopped crying.
Oh.
And really weirdly, I didn't remember that. And I hope I'm not making it up.
No, you won't be.
But
you won't be.
I do remember him just being on my chest and then just not crying.
You just need.
And I remember looking at him thinking like, oh my goodness, you've just come out of my stomach.
Yeah.
Oh
you
my
were
goodness,
excited.
you're mine.
Yeah.
You're
made
human,
you. Yeah.
and I made you.
I made you. Look how good I am. I'm very clever.
Yeah, like the most insane moment.
Oh, that's so cool. That's so special.
Yeah, really was. And then obviously to top it all, my mum then came in like 2 hours later to come and see him.
Yeah, so just got straight to Heathrow and then drove over. Taxi.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So it was just stuff like that you just can't plan. Like everyone has a birth plan. I definitely had a birth plan. I didn't write everything down. I want a water birth. I want this. I want that. But in my head, I kind of knew what I wanted.
Yeah.
And it doesn't go to plan, but it was special because of how it was.
Yeah, and it was yours.
And no one else is going to have that.
No.
So it was magical for very different reasons than what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
But it was great.
Oh.
It wasn't like, in my head, I really thought I was going to have a water birth, and it was going to be magical because I'm such a water baby, and I was going to have it in water, and it was going to be magical. Yeah. And it wasn't like that, but it was still incredibly special.
Yeah. And now that you remember those bits, like him stopping crying on your chest, that makes it even more special. Having those little moments of memory.
Yeah. And actually, the funny thing was, after he was born, Ross's job was to bring the nappies and a hat.
Right, okay.
And he was like, okay, the nappies I can do, or the hat I can do, but the nappies I haven't done before. But in fact, I don't really know what happened, because we ended up with a hospital hat.
Oh yeah, we did.
I packed a load of hats, but they were all in the car.
But they give you immediately. So as soon as babies, or at least for me, soon baby out, they give you a hat. So you don't really have a choice in it. She was like, oh look, and it's a little she described it as a little old lady had knitted it and gave it to the hospital, which was really sweet.
It was like a little blue knitted hat, which
I've
still got.
Green. Oh,
it was really cute.
Oh no, we don't have ours, but yeah, we don't have ours.
Sorry.
Yeah, they took it away because it was absolutely covered in blood, so just took it away.
Oh.
Yeah,
we managed to keep it because all of our stuff was in the car.
Yeah.
I don't know why it was there. Or maybe it was in the room. I don't know. But anyway, it wasn't in where we needed it to be.
Yeah.
So that was it. Yeah.
That's amazing. Love that story.
It was a long time coming.
A long time coming, and then you had cesarean to heal from, which is no easy feat.
It's kind of obvious when you think about it, but cesarean is incredibly painful.
Yeah. And every movement that you make, you move your stomach and your core. Yeah. So everything that you do, whether it's holding baby, whether it's walking, whether it's sitting up in bed, everything, going for a wee, is going to pull on that core.
Yeah, I think the other thing that was kind of special in its own little way, it's just like next level bonding with your partner. Yeah. Like I couldn't walk. Well, I could, but it was so painful. Like pain I've never ever experienced. And like the toilet was, or the shower, sorry, was probably from here to the window. So what's that? A few feet. Not far at all. It took me 20 minutes to walk there.
Shuffling.
And then
that,
and I was in absolute agony. And then because I hadn't had a shower since the theatre. Yeah. And so we're more than 12 hours. Yeah. And I absolutely need a shower. I feel disgusting. Yeah. So Ross came in and showered. Like I'm holding on to the little disabled bridle in the shower, and he's scrubbing every orifice. I'm like, thanks, babe.
If you didn't love me before, you really need to love me now, because you've You've really touched every part of me.
Yeah, I'm like, I just feel gross. Can you just scrub everything, please?
I'm just going to stand
Bless him, good.
Your dignity's gone already, so you just think, well, carry on.
Yeah, there is no dignity in
There's
childbirth.
no dignity in childbirth, none.
No. But it's like, it's just funny because it's next level bonding.
Yeah, it's, yeah.
Like, once you've had a child together,
there's nothing they haven't seen.
There's nothing they haven't seen.
No. Yeah, exactly. And now here he is.
Yeah, and he's here. And he's asleep.
He's asleep. Aww.
So angelic.
Gorgeous. Awesome. So that was Kat's birth story. Mine will be coming next. And then next on the podcast, we actually have our hypnobirthing lady who taught us both.
That's how we met, so it's going to be a pretty special episode.
And she's a midwife as well. She was actually my midwife at my birth.
Yeah. So you'll hear about Joanna before you see her.
Exactly. And we'll be talking to her about all things hypnobirthing, debunking some of the myths, and hopefully giving you a good insight as to what you can expect from hypnobirthing if you are pregnant, if you want to look into it for your own birth. That should be a good episode for you to tune into. And we will see you next time.
See you later.
Bye.